Hello. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Slay to Success Talk Show. My name is Rochelle Slay Queen Hemingway, and I'm your host. So, if it is your first time being here, please make sure that you let us know that you are here. Go ahead and put your name and where you're streaming in from. Love to give you a shout out while you're here. I'm the CEO and founder of Slay to Success. I'm also a speaker, author of the book titled Slay to Success, a mentor, and a 30-year United States Air Force veteran. So, what is Slay to Success? Slay to Success is a leadership and transformational consultant business, and it is designed to help mid to senior level professional women who have recently arrived in a position of leadership, who are on the precipice of leadership, or who are facing an inflection point in their careers or in their lives by offering keynote speaking services for conferences, events, retreats, and large meetings, leadership development workshops for businesses, organizations, and companies, leadership development courses for aspiring and established women working in leadership roles. I provide one-on-one mentorship consultations for women that are still in leadership or transitioning after a long career, specifically a 20 plus year career. I also have a woman's private exclusive Facebook membership group for support, encouragement, and a community. And so I just know everyone's often wondering, man, Slay to Success is thriving, moving, growing. Yes, it's all the things, y'all. So you don't want to miss out on anything. So I just know that I have a slide presentation for you. Towards the end, I'll be showing you how you can go to my LinkedIn, and then you can go ahead and see all the services that I provide. So the purpose of this talk show is to highlight men and women who have or are living a life of service on their own terms and using the slave philosophies to positively impact the world. And all of us know the word slay means to kill it, to dominate it, and to nail it, to be on point, to dream and work hard until you own it, and to impress greatly. And so slay is also a acronym. It's a universal leadership and life philosophies that really resonate with me the most and that I speak to a lot. That means we are staying ready to be ready. Okay, stay ready to be ready, lead out loud, a sense of family, a sense of community, and knowing you are built to last. So, y'all, I have an amazing guest with me tonight. Okay. Again, as we all know, if you need something to sip on, okay, I know the game is on. I hear the game downstairs. AJ and my husband are watching the game. So they may have something else that they got going on, but I got tea. Okay. So get your piping tea if you need it, because tea will be dropped in these conversations that we're going to have with our next featured guest. Buckle up. Just get prepared. So, my guest tonight is a retired veteran of 20 years. She is a mother of two, and she is also an entrepreneur. Now, she is an empowerment coach, a motivational speaker, an author, and the owner of a travel business. She's originally from the U.S. Virgin Islands, and she now resides in Tampa, Florida. Her focus is on working with women who wish to make a positive change in their lives by shifting their mindset. So instead of thinking in terms of scarcity, lack, and limitation, she helps them to develop an attitude of abundance, possibility, and purpose. These women she's working with are motivated to overcome self imposed barriers and fully embrace their potential. They're no longer satisfied with feeling stuck, unfulfilled, and disconnected from their true passions and aspirations. Please, my Air Force retired sister, welcome her into the show, right in the building, Chisa Marie. So I'm going to bring her up, y'all. Please give her a warm welcome. Hey, girl.
Yay!
What's going on?
Man, life is lifing, but I'm gonna keep it moving, right? Like it's like you people they don't understand. Like just because a hiccup is in the road, that don't mean you stop. Listen,
No.
go around it or get you some bigger tires to roll over it.
Oh,
Like we're not gonna stay stuck, and that's the problem. People are so busy. They, they think that they can't do no better. They think that they can't.
And you know what? Listen, Cheezer, the first person that came on here, Glenroy, said, "Stay ready so you don't have to get ready." And he
Hey,
just look. Any setback is nothing but a setup for a comeback.
hey,
Hey,
listen.
eh,
Look, my comeback will be strong. Like people gonna be like, what's wrong with you? Hey, this is my comeback, y'all. Y'all see me. Don't even do it because you're gonna miss it.
right, exactly. I'm just telling you right now, y'all are in for a treat because, man, I'm just saying, like when you say life is lifing, people really need to understand that people just don't show up. We don't just show up. We may look, like we got everything together, but you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You should never assume
That
of
facts.
what's really happening.
Facts.
Facts. So what is happening with you, girl? I mean, I know you down there in Tampa. You let's first start from when you retired.
Okay.
Okay. So let's start from that journey, okay, and
So
work ourselves to a present
yep,
day.
yep. When I retired at 20 years, and I've always said like 20 is my number. That's it. We're not going no further. But when I had my daughter, I was like, I'm not built for this with a child, and I'm not be for every that may be for y'all, but that ain't for me. So when I had her, I was in for 15 years, and they were like, oh, everybody looking at me like this is something you do. I said, I'm sorry. Every trip I went on, every TDY, I was stationed in Vilseck, Germany when I had her. And we had to drive to Germany, I mean, Ramstein, to go do anything. And I'd be like, hey, you need to take off. You need to take off work because you need to roll with me. They want me to go to Ramstein for the day and back. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, I'm not leaving my baby for that long. Cause let me tell y'all never know what happens on a road to something. Like if we going to go, we're going to go together. That's
Hello.
so I'm like, I can't leave my baby. Like, are y'all crazy? So hey, everything I had to do, I took her. So my first sergeant was like, you need to you could apply for early retirement. And I'm like, I said, oh, what? Okay, let me think about this, right? So then when he broke it down, and I'm like, hold on, let me think about my whole life situation because my husband had kids outside our marriage, so he had other financial obligations, and I got a standard for life and things. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna put that on the back burner because I can't retire. But when I did retire, I had my retirement went kind of a little bumpy because I found a tumor in my foot right before I retired, and they didn't know it was a tumor. The guy told me, he was like, "Oh yeah, that's just a cyst. We'll drain it. It'll be okay." And I'm like, oh, "Okay, whatever, cool. Let's do this." A week later, I get a phone call saying, "You gotta go get this test. You got this test. You got this test. You got this test to go do." I'm like, "Oh, so it wasn't a cyst?" Because this dude he was like, "Oh, that's just a cyst. We'll just drain it." Like he was confident too. So I was stationed on Hickam. They transferred me to what is that? What's the pink building?
Tripper.
Mm-hmm. They
Tripper.
because there's specialist there. The
Mm-hmm.
specialist there, she was like, I don't know what that is. She was like, I have to transfer you to another specialist, and I'm like, okay. So the specialist was in Washington State, and when we were going through all the stuff, they were like, you, and mind you, now I had a second baby, right? He was 5 months. My daughter was 5. And they were like, "Oh, you're going to have to go to Washington State to have a biopsy and see what it is." And I said, "Okay, so how are we going to work this? Because I'm not going without my babies." So at this point, because you have to, they were like, "We're going to give you somebody to go with." And I said, "I choose my husband because that's not a thing." And they were
Right.
like, "Well, we're not going to pay for him." I said, "I didn't ask you to pay for him. You asked who I wanted to go, and I told you who it was. I didn't ask." See, this is the difference between me and a lot of people. For a very long time, I'm not asking you no questions. I'm not asking for permission. If you don't tell me what I need to hear, I'm going past you. And that's what a lot of people in the military don't understand. Like, just because you have a certain rank don't mean you can talk to me crazy. Doesn't mean you still need to respect the fact that I'm still a person. Like, I am not a dog on the street. And I had to tell people, my mama don't talk to me like that. So you damn sure ain't gonna talk to me like that.
Girl.
The problem is everybody. Here's what I learned halfway through my military career. You came into the military for a reason.
Yep.
Focus on that reason. Stop allowing the chitter chatter on the left and right and what people's opinions and expectations let fail you, because you will fail worrying about what everybody else thinks of you or what they think you should be doing.
In
So
anything, but certainly in the military. Go ahead.
right? So like, come down to my thing. I'm talking to TRICARE. I'm like, I'm about to retire. How the hell we gonna do this? Like, what we doing? And they're like, well, that's not our problem, right? Like, cause you about to retire. Like, you're done. Once you retire, you're out the door. And I had to. I'm like, hold on, y'all. What we gonna do? So. My husband retired before me. The December He retired December, mind you. We now here, so I get out, we move here, and they were like, well, once you get out, get a checkup within 6 months. So mind you, my retirement, I'm like rushing around doing all these appointments because I had already had my VA look at all the things before I had my surgery. So that wasn't in my records. Right. And that wasn't counted toward my VA, right? Like, and I'm like, what we doing? Like, I'm like ripping and running, trying to get all these things done. And they're like, well, when you get there, then just call, it was a whole thing. So get here to Tampa, and I had to find a doctor that was going to look at my foot. I find one, and he was like, I would have already took your toe from the beginning. I'm like, well, I guess it's a good thing I didn't see you from the beginning, right? And I was like, your bedside manner is garbage. So I went back to the VA. That one fell under my TRICARE. So I went back under TRICARE when I got out. And for me, a lot of people complain about TRICARE, but I haven't had a problem. My surgery was $15,000. I paid $0. So, and I had it 2 times, the surgery twice.
Wow.
It had grown back twice the size by the time I retired. Got here, I had to drive 2 hours to Gainesville, and the doctor was like, oh no, we'll just scrape the foot. We'll just scrape the toe for, deeper down so it won't grow back. So I had to go back every 2 months to get it checked, which was good. So it hasn't grown back now. And he just tells me to call when I'm back. But my experience with the VA, all of it, when you set an intention for what you want, you can create the life and the things that you want out of it. Because for me, when I retired, I got 80% disability, but my toe wasn't in there. And you excuse you have another special guest.
We got another guest, y'all. That's just how it is.
Listen, he just got to be in the show. But anyway, so I had 80%, and when he went to the VA and everything, he got his 100% right out. So we kept going back. So here's what people need to understand. When you get out and the VA gives you, say, 90, right? You have to set an intent to file once you realize you want to go up. But do not create any more problems. Stick to the problems you already have. And once you go back, keep going to the doctor, keep telling this, and your intent to file, you have an entire year to make an appointment to be seen. And even when you're seen, you still get another. Like, people need to pay attention. They complain about the VA, they complain about this, but they don't know what they're supposed to know, right? Like, retiring, they don't give us any information about the VA. I literally had to learn this as I went, and it was a blessing. The people I talked to they really gave me the information I needed, because them people don't care about y'all. They don't care. And for me, I did my intent to file. They gave me do you see me talking? Okay, they gave me, from my 80, I got 90 for my toe.
Yep.
That wasn't good enough for me. So I intend to file again. I did 2 intent to files, and now I'm at 100%. I got my plate. That was my focus. That was my intention. I created the scene that I have. So we gonna go. This is a whole different subject, right? But I wrote out my entire scene of what I wanted to happen. And all I did was visualize myself walking to that DMV, going to the VA, allowing listen, up to the person that I talked to in the VA, I was like, the person's going to have me in and out in 10 minutes. I'm going to be into the DMV. And it happened exactly how I wrote it. But people don't understand, when you set them intentions, it's so much more powerful than stressing and creating overwhelm. So needless to say, my retirement, my shift, I didn't go back to work because I stayed with my kids. I had young kids. They're 9 and 5 now. And I mean, I'm now getting like my life back, right? Because my son is in school. He was in VPK, but it was only till 12. And you can't do nothing when it's till 12 o'clock. From 8 to 12, I can go to one store.
Right. If that.
So exactly. And and these stores don't open at 8 o'clock. They don't open.
They don't.
10. And I'm like, I need y'all to open earlier because I don't got time to play. Not today. Like, I call my sister. I was like, why this store ain't open right now? And she's like, girl, they don't open today. She was like, them people don't go to work. And I'm like, I need them to go to work.
Listen, before you move on, okay, because Glenroy's on here. And first
Okay.
of all, I want to acknowledge everyone who's here. So, Teresa, thank you for being here. Now, Chevy is on LinkedIn. I seen her pop down on LinkedIn. I'm not sure why the comments aren't coming up from LinkedIn,
Yeah.
but you know how it goes, right? So, I'm going to be tracking LinkedIn here on the
Okay.
phone. But Glenroy was saying, he said the VA physical is key before getting out. He got out with 60%. It took him 9 years for him to get to the 100% disability rate. So it does take time, but that's what you set your intentions to, and that's what he got. So, and then he said, don't go chasing waterfalls. Stick to the rivers and lakes that you're used to. And she correct. The VA does not care. Okay,
They
so
don't.
we work on behalf of the federal government.
Listen,
So it's
stick
a
to
system.
stick to the things. Tell her I cannot. I'm on a Zoom. Stick to the problems you got out with. Do not create more. And that's what people, that's why all of these vets and all these things are angry, because they go in there and they be like, oh, now my head hurts. Now I have this problem. Okay, honey, let's focus on what the problem was before you got out, because then people don't care about what happens after you got out. Like
Right.
you didn't claim the fame then. Like you want to claim the fame after the fact. Don't know what they, and it's sad to say, but they don't care, because it's starting the process all over. Stick
Yeah.
to what you already have in.
Yeah. Okay, so you retired, you moved, in Tampa. So you're from the U.S. Virgin Islands. Do you go back to the U.S. Virgin Islands a lot?
I was, but before my grandmother died, I was. But after she died, I wasn't like there. I didn't feel the urge to go back as much. Well, my father lived there, but then he was killed.
Oh
So
no, I'm
I
sorry
ended
to
up,
hear that.
yeah, his next door neighbor, they shared an easement. An easement is like, I'm not sure if everybody knows what that is, but say you have a property here and there's a piece of land in between yours and theirs. Technically, it's listed in the paperwork who owns the easement. Well, my
Right.
father owned the easement, but the man, he was a squatter. Him and his wife were divorced, and it was her land. He built a shack on this piece of land and act like it was a mansion. And when my father got killed, it went he made up this full story. He's in jail still, but because he, do not yell, go upstairs and tell her stop yelling. He made up this elaborate, like he was afraid for his life and blah 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 blah. He shot my father in cold blood. He went out there with an intention to kill him.
Oh no.
We went home because when he died, none of the stuff was in anybody else's name except for his. So at first we were going through probate. Mind you, this was in 2020. We in 2023, about to be 2024, and there was still no movement and on the probate. So I messaged, because when the hurricane hit, it destroyed his house. It ripped the whole entire house off. So all it had was the foundation, and he had like a room downstairs, but everything was gone. So for me, he had to take a small business loan out, because that's the only people that came to the island to give loans out for the hurricane. So he took one out. But when I called the small business people, they were like, oh yeah, you can pay it off. And I'm like, okay, well, how much it is? And I was like, if I pay it off now, is it going to make any sense to pay it off now? Because it ain't in my name, right? I'm paying this off for him in the just in case I get it. And they're like, well, you can hold off, but it incurs interest every day. And I said, but he's dead.
Wow.
He's dead. They were like, we don't care. It's in the contract he signed. And I'm like, oh God. So
Yeah,
I had to shut the program,
girl.
because I was like, I don't want to waste time and money for a thing that it's not even like, if I go back home and build on that, the foundation isn't solid. So I was like, I'll talk to all my siblings. And that was another thing. I found out I grew up with one sister, knowing that I had another one. I now have two sisters, two brothers now that
Hey,
I only met after he died, because it's a whole thing.
and that only shows to everyone that there are a lot of things that we, especially at our age now, and after you retire, there are a lot of things that are still happening. I mean, life is just what it is. It is full of twists and turns and in betweens and so forth, and the transition. People think that people just getting out smoothly. There's always a story that someone has. And so it's important to, listen to what's actually happened. Understand too that you're not alone because there's a lot of things that do happen. I mean, you think that you're the only one going through it. So you're now like in your transition mode. And so we met, okay, through networking. All
Yes.
right. So we were both into a company selling health and wellness products, and our energy was just, it was very, I mean, we gravitated through the screen, and
Mhm.
then we were able to do some Zoom calls together as a team and so forth and so on. And so I always appreciated your insight, and especially for leadership and wellness and mindset. So when we talk about leadership, like what are some very like personal, maybe some things that are very that you're very passionate about when we talk about leadership?
So for me, when it comes to leader, I believe that the knowledge I have is not for me. It's for everybody else. Anybody on my team, and I'm like, listen, I spent thousands of dollars on personal development, all these courses. And I'm like, listen, when I see somebody, like even when we met, I'm like, girl, you go ahead and download this thing right here. Go ahead and do
Yep.
this. Click it, click, clack. Because for me, growing up, I wasn't taught to share information. It was don't let people in your business.
Mm.
Dying for everybody to know. Hoard it because they, you don't want nobody else to have more than you. But see, what I've learned now is sharing is caring. And we teach our kids that, but people don't live like that. They say sharing is caring, but they like, somebody be like, oh, y'all know how to do this? No, I don't know how to do it. And then on the sidelines, they typing it away, stealing your ideas because you done told them what you. Here's the thing: there are so much opportunities in the world for us, and I truly believe that as a leader, you're here to help others. You're not here to push them down so you can get a little bit higher. It's like everybody wants to, oh, these people work for me, right? Like this is we are you can't be no higher than me because I am the best, right? Like no, you're not though. You're because even in the military, all of them higher rankings, they like I did this. No, you didn't. Them airmen underneath you did that. And they did it faster than you could ever. They had them innovated ideas, and you over there like, what should we do? And they're like, this is what we're doing. But it's like, as a leader, you are here to give, give your all, and
Yeah.
sure that the people under you are always taken care of. They never have to blink an eye like, what we gonna do? Like we stressed out, we struggling. Okay, let me help you be better. Let me help you do better. And it's sad that it's still people out here still.
Well, it's a sort of protection, and they want to validate themselves, and they want to secure their
Yes.
position because they think that somebody's going to come in and take over if they don't know something.
Hey.
And it's just showing folks that, you like to hoard information and you're not to be trusted. And, you go through that whole thing, right? And so, Tiffany, she says, yes, I'm a huge proponent of sharing what you know and building up those around you. Learn that from some special person. Some special person is me, I think she's alluded to. Hey. So yeah, it is absolutely necessary for us to share what we
Yes.
know so we can better the folks that are around it. And Karan said she loves this convo. She loves this
Woo!
convo. So thank you for
Yes.
being here, my queen. And Tiffany's she's coming back with yes, ma'am.
Hey. Yes.
But
Yes.
what other things about leadership, like maybe some traits,
So
styles that
I
you appreciate
I
more?
love an honest leader, like a
Mm,
leader that is open and say, you know what, like I'm not perfect. I don't know how to do this, and we're gonna learn together. Like, right? Like, no, I can't stand somebody who wants to portray that they're so great, and then you're doing all the work, and they're like, oh yeah, that was a good idea. Like what? Like,
really?
but
Yeah.
and for me, teach if you like as far as when it comes to leading people, right? You up in front, you just jabbing, jabbing, jabbing about yourself. Like, It ain't about you. It ain't. It's like, what is when we come to work, what are we doing? What are we focused on? What is our goals? Like, I am someone who is like, I need you to tell me we got goals, we got things, we work into this. Not, okay, well, let's just come to see what happens, right? Let's see what the day throws us. We spend hours working on something the day throws us. No, let's have a agenda. Let's
Yes.
I love to work towards something like this sitting, and the company I'm in now, they're like, it teaches you the colors, right? You're the different colors. And I know we learned it in the military, but it's like the different perspective, because now it's for me, right?
Yeah.
Or for somebody else's business. That's the military is a business, regardless of what anybody wants to say. We still working for somebody else. And it's sad that we're making other people rich and we won't take a chance on ourselves.
Well, it's because when you're there, and I honestly admit that I didn't see anything outside of the military. I just saw, hey, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is how I do it. And when I retired, I said, well, I think I want to do something a little bit different. Right. And then you come out of the fog. You're in a fog somewhat, right?
Yeah.
Because you're doing things, but sometimes those things aren't meaningful. So that, like, folks need meaningful work. They need to have purpose-driven tasks. They need to have things that they can come to work and say, you know what, I achieved and accomplished something.
Something.
Right. If all I'm doing is in the break room, all right, with my feet up, and we talking about, this person and that person and
That
this,
right there.
right. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, well, what did I come to work to do? I could have stayed at home and did that and been on social media and then talking about folks.
That's that's another
It's a
rap.
whole nother level. It's discussion. All right, Tiffany's got a comment here. Those are leaders I seek out. Appreciate the ones who don't know everything, but will help you find out alongside them. I aspire to be that kind of leader.
Yes, girl.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I remember when look, my biggest thing now when I speak, because I meet a lot of people who are trying to join. And here's the biggest thing. When I joined for school, right? But when I joined, I'm gonna age myself a little bit, but when I joined, the TA wasn't 100%.
Right.
So when I looked at how much money, okay, when I looked at how much money I had to pay for school, put into the class, books, and then my time, because my time is valuable, right?
Oh yeah.
It was like, I can't go to school and pay my bills because I was just one a little baby airman, right? So my focus to go to school was thrown to the left, because here's like, do you want to pay your car payment or do you want to take classes? What do you want to say, right?
And I think it was like 75%. I think when I came in, I think it was 75%.
Yeah, it was 75, but that wasn't enough. Books were like $100 a pop. So I didn't start going to, like, I always tell people I got the school bug when I went on my first deployment, because it was 100% tuition now. And then it was the school I went to was AMU, and it was free books. So I was like, oh, I can go online.
Yeah.
We doing this, right? Like, so I stopped going to in school because I could only go after work, and that was 5 to 10. And I was sitting in people class talking about, I need a whole snack. I need something to eat. I need to sleep. And I
did all my math classes at night, and they were from like you said, from 5 to 10. I just had to get it done.
Well, and that's the thing. So I did it in class for what was that? Statistics. I did statistics in class. I did all of them. But when I transferred to AMU looked at them statistics and was like, that ain't good enough. You gonna have to retake these. So I had to retake it online. And Google was my best friend. Just to tell y'all, me and Google was doing it up.
Like, everybody's best friend, girl.
Google, what's the answer to this? But what I want to say is, when people, like kids now that are going in, and even people who have kids that are going in, go in with an intention. Go in for what you want, because the military will always take from you. But when you have a focus and you stick to that focus, nothing should uproot you out of your focus. Like, you can go in and people like, oh, you want to go party? And it's like, no, I gotta go do my lesson, right? Like, I got goals. So I retired and I had my master's degree.
Yeah.
But a lot of people struggling paying all these money for, get what the military is giving you and stop complaining. That's the thing. Like y'all going in here complaining, y'all taking y'all butt to work and sitting around doing nothing. Like I'm gonna speak to this because I worked in logistics, and I'm gonna tell you, we was in Germany. That this is when my bell came on. Right, we in the thing. It's all of us. It's like 5 of us. We sitting in there, 2 people on each end in the middle, and we chilling,
Oh, I know.
chatting it up. Just I don't think the internet was that big, right? Facebook was that big back then, right? But we chatting, and I'm sitting there looking at everybody, and I'm like, one person went to go run for food for us, and I'm looking like, what are we complaining about? We are doing nothing, and we were working 11 to 7, so it's nighttime. Ain't nobody in that place,
right? And
but,
getting paid.
And I had to come to my realization: we complain about the dumbest things, and we just complain to complain. We were taught to complain, so all we do is complain. And here's what I'm going to tell you: when you complain about something, all you do is create more of what you don't want. So you're going to be sitting around complaining about this, and look, the universe going to say, go ahead, here you go, girl. You was complaining about that last week. Let me give it to you. Let me give it to you again, because since you obviously liked it, because the universe has no idea what good or bad is. It just focuses on what you create in your head and what you say out your mouth. So watch what you say. Your words you create everything.
Yeah, girl. So you're talking to the next thing that I want to speak to too, is about this mindset.
Yes.
Right? This mindset work. So I've been on my own journey, since I retired, because I had, a certain mindset when I was, still in. And I was like, man, I wanted to design the life that I want to live. Like, how do I do that? Well, we got to take this stuff that we have in our head, and we have to start looking at what is it that we say to ourselves. Are we affirming ourselves, or are we just making it worse by compounding our negative thoughts? And that before you know it, you don't even know what you're thinking, girl. And it's just it can drive you plain crazy.
Yes.
So what's your mindset?
Oh my goodness, y'all. So here's I was married for 12 years, and I am now divorced. And what I realize is, before I got married, when I tell you, I was dabbling in my creation, right? I knew how to do it, but I was dabbling. And when I say dabbling, it's like, I know what to do, but then life, and then I just get all distracted, right? And I start complaining. And when I realized, can you go please? When I realized what was happening, so I realized I was married to a narcissist. And if a lot of people, for me, a lot of that wasn't talked about a lot. And here's the thing: you can be in a relationship with narcissists if you shift your mindset to always thinking 10 steps ahead of them. See, the way I work is I don't have no energy for that. So what I did was, several times I'm like, this ain't the way I want to live my life, right? Like, the energy in this house is off. It's always something. And for me, I'm like, well, let's be easy and relaxed. Let's create the life, right? So it just got too much. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. I got me a lawyer and I got divorced, because I realized that the life I was living, I was unhappy. And it's sad that we sit in unhappiness for the outside world. Everybody was like, oh, y'all are so perfect. Y'all are this. And I let that perfection sit right here, and it blinded me, right? Like, so I was blinded by what people think, that expectation, right? Expected you to stay. They expect you to stay for the kids. They expect you to do this. But I'm gonna tell you, my children are living their best life when I made that decision to walk away. Because what I realize is, I was letting somebody else's energy and just their mindset influence me, because I am an empath. I feel everything. And a lot of people may not know what an empath is. And that's you literally can walk into a room and feel everybody's energy. And I didn't know that back then. And it's not until now, it's like, it's not until now is when I start to sit down and pay attention, like, what do I want to create for myself? Do I want to create madness, or do I want to create amazingness? And that's where I live now. It's like, I make sure I read my books. I make sure I meditate. And people need to understand that meditation isn't just sitting in the chair. It's doing what you love. If you love to run, get out there and run your butt. That's meditation. That's where your downloads come. Even if you don't want to run, because everybody like, this girl crazy. You ain't got to run. Go ahead and walk. Go ahead and walk. Oh, yay. I'm glad that put a different perspective. Good. Because it's people don't understand that when you are in a space where somebody else is unhappy and you're not unhappy, but their energy overtakes you, it's like you're, I mean, when I tell you I do it all. I get psychic readings, I get cards read, so I'm a whole different ball game than anybody else. And if
She is,
you're not,
y'all. She's a
yo,
whole thing.
if I wear crystals, let me tell y'all, I'm all about it all. You can give me a minute. I love it, and if y'all want to talk about it, I am willing to talk about it. I don't hide anymore, and I wasn't hiding before, but it just was like I wasn't in your face like, hey girl, hey, like if you see me outside my crystal dress, don't even worry about it, girl. Don't even worry about it. I'm still protected. But for me, people need to understand somebody else's energy. If you're staying in a place where you're unhappy, it doesn't do you any benefit. It doesn't, because all you will do is continue to create more unhappiness. Please go. Unhappiness, because you're trying to force something that isn't for you, right? Like, look, think of it this way: you cannot be blessed in this season because that person you dragging them. You're continuously dragging people to be in your space, and that's what I was doing. I was creating this amazing, like, oh, I got this husband, and I got, like, look, I'm living my best life. No, you're not. You struggling, like you struggling mentally. Listen, y'all. Today he on 10. He on 10 today, like, but yes. And that was
that's reality. That's your reality, girl.
One thing I realized, like, negative energy was interfering with my children. So be very mindful. And when like, for me, you know how kids they feel energy more. So if your child, just think about this, if your child goes into a space and they don't want to look, Reginald Wayne, get out. If you go into a space and your kids feel like, ooh, they start to cry, it's because of the negative energy of that space. And here's the biggest thing. So I moved into this new house, and this is just perspective.
Congratulations.
This is perspective for everybody. I had an appointment at 12 o'clock, right, for them to do the walkthrough inspection, because I'm only renting right now. I have no interest in buying right now. I'm just living my life, right? And listen, I'm so glad I could call somebody and be like, hey, this thing ain't working. Come fix it.
Right. So, nobody, I mean,
the man was supposed to meet me at 12, because I called and I said, I can't do, they gave me a 1 o'clock appointment, and I told him I can't do 1 o'clock because I got to pick my kids up, and I don't mess with my children, picking my children up. This is you borderline crazy if you think I'm gonna stay and let my kids wait. So the man is outside, and I go outside, and I'm like, for me, here's the thing: speak energetically. Do not speak in stress and like distress, right? Because when you speak energetically, it's like, this is what I'm gonna do, this is what I'm gonna stand for. When you speak in stress, it's like, oh my God, why are you this? It's like it's an attracting a different energy. So the man's in his car. When I tell y'all, it was 12:53, because I called the company. They were like, well, nobody's answering, we'll have him call you back. He pulls up at 12:53, and he's in his car, like chatting it up, chilling. And I'm like, this man for real is chilling. So now look, me, I'm outside on the porch, like, let me act like I'm still here. And he looks up and he rolls the window down and he goes, oh, hey, are you the new renter? And I said, I am. And he goes, oh, okay, I'll be right with you. I said, how long is that going to be? Because I had an appointment at 12 and it's now 1 o'clock and I have to pick my kids up at 1:30. And let me caveat with this. They were told me that the walkthrough would take 45 minutes to an hour and a half. If y'all math is mathing, that ain't gonna calculate for me at 1 o'clock, right? Mm-hmm. So he's like, oh, my time, like he had a straight attitude. He was like, my time says 1. I was with another person. Cool. I said, cool. But you gonna come inside so we can get this started? He rolls his window up. He's like, I'm sorry you're having a bad day. Rolls his window up. I'm not having a bad day, guys. I'm having an amazing day. I got things to do. So he rolls his window up. He still sits in his car for another 5 minutes talking after I just gave my little spew about having to go pick my kids up, right? He comes to my door and he opens up. He still stands outside talking to somebody else. He opens up the front door and he doesn't walk in. Then go. He does not walk in. He stands at the door, at the threshold. When I tell you, if somebody does not walk in your house, they're intimidated by your energy. They're intimidated by your energy. So I wear crystals, and for me, that's another level of protection for me. If somebody will not come to your space, it's because energetically they're not matching you. They're not aligned. So be mindful of that when you allow people in your house and
Mm.
allow people in your space. Not everybody has good intentions when they come to your house, and they leave the negativity with them. So they rescheduled me. The next man that came, no problems. I had on the same crystals, the same thing, no problem. It was that man's nasty energy that uprooted the situation more than it needed to be. But I'm gonna tell you this: you ain't gonna act like I'm not the one paying this rent. Ain't gonna act like you don't lost your damn mind at my house. Like, no, no, ma'am, no, sir, no. And that's the problem. Y'all, everybody. Here's the thing: when you paying for a service, you better not have one blink of an eye problem when it comes to showing up and doing what I need to do. That's my biggest thing. I'm not, you ain't, this ain't for free. I pay for this. I'm,
Right.
I'm
That's true.
paying.
Yeah.
And that's for everything. If you paying for a service and somebody half stepping,
Yeah.
run me my money back if that's too hard for you. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, energy is everything.
And you getting all Jesus energy.
I know, right? Hey, listen,
Like,
write this down, y'all,
and
because
the screen and everything. Lord Jesus. Okay. Okay. So like we talked about the mindset a little bit and
yep.
where you're coming from. And so your take on wellness, so I know, girl. It's gonna be, listen, before we get to the wellness conversation, I do because we're very passionate about wellness. I do want to say thank you all for hanging in there and being live with us tonight. I do want to present up a slide so that way you guys can have this, so that way we can be able to, let's see here. And I probably won't be able to do it right now. Okay, we'll keep the conversation going for a second. Okay, let's get on to this wellness thing, my queen.
All right, let's talk about wellness. So here's the thing: if everything is connected, absolute everything. If your body is trash, your mindset is trash. Everything is trash. So whatever you're putting in, like my biggest thing when people like, I'm trying to lose weight, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. I said, how much water are you drinking? Because our water is half your body weight. You should be drinking half your body weight in ounces. And if you drinking one bottle, I'm gonna tell you, every time somebody be like, I'd be drinking water. Oh, how much? Because I need a number. I need a specific number. Don't tell me I'm drinking water, because I drink water too, boo. But I got a 32-ounce water bottle, and I know how much of this water I'm drinking. If you got an 8-ounce, you ain't an infant. You ain't an infant.
That's an infant. An infant drinks 8 ounces.
An infant, even that, you know what I'm saying, like you calculating, we doing half ounces. That's what a baby need to be drinking, right? You doing an 8 ounce. Listen, I'm gonna give you a 16-ounce bottle, right? Like people, this whole, I'm gonna just shovel it all my food and I'm just gonna quickly. That is a problem. So here's the biggest thing: if you are not drinking enough water, you're shoveling your food down, your body thinks that you're being chased by a lion. So if you're shoveling the food down, you're rushing to eat your meals, it's now storing that food, because it's like, oh, you're in a rush. Your body don't know what's going on. It thinks you're being chased by a lion. So if you're being chased by a lion, it's gonna save you from what you need, right?
Girl, I was being chased by a lion for almost 30 years. Okay, because I used to stand up eating. I would be on my computer. I'd be like, dang, I can't even have time to go and get something to eat. So I guess I've been in flight mode for a minute, but now I'm not. So, but go ahead.
Yes. So people don't understand, like, your body, if you skip a meal, if you only eat one meal, your body literally thinks that you are starving. You are held captive, and it's going to store. So everybody who's like, I can't get off that plateau, I can't reach that thing, look at what you're doing. It is a fact. You should at least be taking 20 minutes to eat a meal. 20, literally from start to finish. And when I first learned that, I'm like, 20 minutes?
That's a long time, girl.
Listen, it's like, but you, like, depending on what you eat, right? So it's like you take a bite, you're supposed to chew, like have a conversation, and then take another bite. So you're supposed to chew, slowly. It's a whole process.
I wonder if anybody in this on
No,
this show right now,
no.
like put in the
Okay.
chat if you're doing this. If
If
you're
you
yeah, if you're eating 20 minutes every meal, I want to know.
listen,
I'm trying to take me a survey here.
I still have a like I had a lead magnet where it talked about later how much you were supposed to eat, how the things, and I took it down because people ain't interested in that. They don't want to know. Like they don't
No,
want to know what they have to do. They just want the quick fix. Like, look, they say you want this blue pill and make you lose the weight faster. This red pill, oh, you're gonna still have to be in the same way, you're gonna have to work hard. Go ahead and give me that blue pill. Everybody gonna want the blue pill, but the blue pill don't really exist. It doesn't,
it doesn't.
because you still have to literally. Oh, Tiffany says she actually eats slow.
Yeah, Tiffany is like,
Hey,
I eat
girl.
slow. I'm not strategically or intentionally doing that. I'm always eating slow all my
Yes,
life,
and
except for BMT.
but you know what? The funny thing is, like, my daughter eats slow. My son eats slow. They already like it's just something to do, but it's kids, right? But as adults, you like, oh my God. I listen, I would never forget I was in a parking lot and this woman was sitting in her car eating a burger. Like she ain't like she ain't want to go home to her kids. But she was like, yeah, I'm like, oh girl, you gonna pay for that later, because people don't understand like that food does not digest properly when it's in big chunks. So a lot of people who have digestive issues, they're not taking vitamins, they're not taking a digestive aid. They need their probiotics and their prebiotics. There's so much that you need that
Well,
goes
Karan
into.
said she's on here. She says, I know it's recommended, but I'm not doing it. I get bored thinking that I have to slow down to eat. Next thing I know, I have swallowed my food.
No, I
But
listen, listen, girl. We tried that when I first learned that. Me and my ex-husband was sitting there. I was like, all right, the timer started. Let's do this. We looked at the time. I was like, sir, we about to be done.
I'm usually done within like 10 minutes. And my son, it's bad. He'll be playing basketball, for hours. He comes back and literally 5 minutes, he's just engulfed. It's just like
Yes,
this
yes. It's like
thing.
people, and they always say that's gonna catch up to you. It really is. People don't understand. Like you maybe don't take 20 minutes, but stop.
Yeah.
Just stop and eat, because your body does not know that you are not, it does not know what you're doing. It doesn't know you're busy. It just say, oh, ooh, you about to die. Let me save this for later. And that's what people have, belly fat. That's why they have weight they can't lose, because it's stored fat. So until you engage and start your process over, because it can happen, you can lose it. It takes work. And when you go to these places and they're like, oh, lose weight in this many times, you a lie, because this takes a whole hell of a lot of work to get back into that routine.
I'll tell you. So how my fitness routine is, my
Yeah,
regimen,
we
right?
see
It's
it, girl.
51 and try to do these burpees and all this other stuff, right? And then I
Oh,
stop for even a couple of days if I don't stop, if I just like don't work out as much. I
yes,
mean, I feel like it's worse. It's just like you're trying to get back to that certain level you were at because you've
yes,
achieved that level. And then you could take off a week or 2 weeks and you'd be
yes,
like, what in the world? It's like starting from scratch again.
girl. Yes, yes,
Let me see
yes.
what Ron said. Girl, I think what else could I have done in this time that I'm taking to eat? Honestly, though, I'm being more intentional enjoying the food. Sometimes I eat so fast, I can't
Yeah.
even tell you how it tastes.
That's the problem. So a lot of people, they need, so if you can't tell me, like, you should be able to, if you eat a burger, right? Let's just say that you should be able to tell me that there is lettuce on that burger, there's pickles on that burger, there's onions. You should be able to tell me everything broken down on that burger. So eat your burger, but you got to tell me what's on that burger without looking at it. Like it's that blind taste test, right? You're like, okay, I'm gonna eat this. This is okay. Yup, girl, it got an onion. It's like like you have to be able to enjoy. It's like enjoying what you're eating and not stressing out about.
Well, I think
Oh,
you know, we live in a fast world. I mean,
yeah,
everything is ever evolving and changing. I was talking to my mom, about this. It's like everything's quick fix. It's microwave, it's
yes,
instantaneous. Everything is ingested at like high speed, high rates.
yes,
So it's to everything that we do. And sometimes we just have to take the time out and just say, you know what? I need to slow down.
What do I
I,
want for myself? That's what you have to say. What do I really want better for myself, or do I want to keep buying pants size bigger? Like, do you really want to do
oh
that?
no,
Like,
that's not an option.
cute. That ain't cute. Like, that has to be a standard. Like, you have to say, today is the day that I'm not gonna do this. I just want to get up and walk. Just get up and walk. Just
Just walk.
just walk.
Just walk.
And then don't be out there strolling like you cute. Get to a pace. Let's get to the
Yeah.
end. Like, time yourself. If you have a block, okay, you hear that? If you have like, say you have a block circle, right? Time yourself on how long it takes you to get around one time.
Yeah.
And your goal is to get around that block 1 minute slower each time. I'm gonna close this door.
Okay. While she's doing that, I'm gonna present my slide.
Listen.
We up in here. She's just like, girl, it's an everyday thing, everybody.
Nobody wants me until I get on a Zoom.
That's how it always is, girl. It don't
be
matter.
Here by myself. Look,
look.
I could be here on the floor. Nobody want to look for me, but they look for me when, oh, hey, she on a call. Look at
Oh
me.
yeah, it always happens. That's why my door is closed, but who knows what'll come back behind the door. But hey, y'all, Slay to Success Happenings. Here's the QR scan code. We do have a leadership series that's coming up on Wednesdays, complimentary. So if you have an opportunity to be here on the virtual platform on Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with me and my other partner in crime, if you will. Her name is Chevy Mack. And we're going to be doing a complimentary session on leadership, shifting our minds, shifting the way that we look at our plans, how we do an audit for ourselves. And then there's so much more to the QR code. So that is the interlude. That is our little break, if you will. Yes, Bobby says somebody wants their mommy.
Listen, and he don't really want nothing.
Well, I know.
But it's okay. I satisfied the yelling, so y'all ain't gonna hear it no more. Look, they out there like, ooh, her kids is dying. Look, look. Listen, y'all, I'm a great mother, but sometimes my door game is on 10,010 because these little busters, they don't want nothing. They just want to bother me.
Well, that's because they see you here on the platform. They want to know what you're doing. They want to be part of it.
He done turn off all my lights in here. Good thing I got on these ring lights. I mean,
girl, this is what family life looks like, y'all. Like this is how we do it. Right. This is the real stuff. So if you came here thinking the stuff is going to look perfect and people are just going to be like, nah, we come up as we are. And some of us have, a whole life going on. So look, I'm about it. I'm about it because this is the real deal.
Listen, that's why I tell people, don't watch me if you don't want to see the madness behind me, because it's a whole show behind me.
Yeah. Hey. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about how now you're an empowerment coach, because I know I got a lot of empowerment coaches, consultants, and folks that are here in our community who are going down that pathway too. So what made you decide to get into this space?
So at first, when I went through it, I am a certified health and life coach. And while we were doing the course, you can choose what you want to focus on, right? So I had already, the reason I got into it is because of the other company we were in, and I want to be able to teach people and know the knowledge when it comes to health. Like, a lot of people don't know that when you're running, if you're eating your food fast, that your body thinks it's being chased by a lion. Not a lot of people know that. And I couldn't tell you that before I took a class. I mean, I could Google some stuff for you, but having the truth, I invested in me. So with the program I invested in, you could do money, you could do finances, you could do all the things, but I chose empowerment. And first it was transformation, but I was like, a lot of people, transformation is a word that a lot of people are unsure of, because they'd be like, I don't need to transform, right?
Yeah.
For me, it's empowering you to do better, like think better, change your mindset. And a lot of people don't like that word mindset because they're like, I don't have nothing wrong with my mind. But you do, though, because if you didn't, you would be at a different level. You wouldn't be still in the same place. And it came to the point where I said to myself, like, I've been working on me and clearing out. Here's the thing. When it comes to your mindset, and that's going back, right? Like you have heritage patterns that you bring into this current situation. It ain't got nothing to do with you, but you hold on to it for whatever reason. And that was a part of like the growth I had to go through in order to get to this point to say, you know, I can empower you to shift your mindset because I've worked on me. I've worked on the things, and that's the problem. You have to work on the little things in order for them not to come up when you start to help somebody else. Because here's the deal: your heritage pattern is going to rear its ugly face when you're trying to help somebody else, because you cannot separate what you have not helped and healed for somebody else. So you be like, yeah, girl, we struggling together. We ain't struggling. So you know what I'm saying? Like you have to be able to separate and heal yourself before you can be and do anything for anybody else. Because let's be honest, growing up, we weren't taught to let it go. We were taught to, hey, we're gonna fight it out. We're gonna do it. Oh, you talking to me crazy? Oh yeah. In the military, you talking to me crazy? Like,
Yep.
You not gonna disrespect me now? You ain't talking to me because I ain't the one, right? Like I have now shifted to, I'm not gonna waste my time and energy responding to you and something that it does. Like you know when people get defensive about somebody saying something about them, like that ain't true. Me, I'm not gonna fight you because I know it's not true. Right. And it be coming to a point where, as a empowerment coach, I'm going to teach you to let it go. Take a breath, breathe it out, however long you need to do it, and move on. Like you have to learn how to release that baggage, because we all carrying that baggage like it's cute, right? Oh, you got the Coach purses and you got that Louis Vuitton, like you cute, but it's all the baggage that you're holding on from your past that will not let you propel to your future.
Yeah, that's true. And so it's important that we continue to do the self-development, the inner work, and recognizing, and then being able to like work these things out. Because like I always say, people who harm people harm other people, or if you're constantly in harm state, it's just a vicious cycle that it never ends. And so you've really spoken to some things, and I've written some things down here earlier that I know that we were going to be talking about later on today. One of those is not facing or not basing our future decisions on current dramas.
Yes. Here's you take that. Everything you take. Go ahead. You were going to say something?
No, go ahead.
So we all go through things, right?
Yeah.
And what you're going through doesn't define you.
Right.
You have a decision. You have a choice. When you're from, like, for instance, my divorce, I could have been like, woe is me. Goodbye. I'm about to go find me a place. I'm about to do this. I will not be limited by what's going, like, 1 second, please. What's going on? So for me, it's deciding.
Yeah.
What do you really want? Because here's the thing, the world is always going to be chaotic for you. If you live in a space where you're like, oh my God, everything is always happening to me. You're right, mama, because it's going to happen, because you're creating that life. You're living in that space that you can't do no better in. You cannot and will not ever go to your next level. And if you do, here's the thing, people are like, well, I've done it. Yeah, you have. But let me ask you how many times you fell back down, because you still, your foundation is weak. And if you don't strengthen your foundation and learn how to show up better for you, you will always fail yourself, because you're living to other people's expectations and you don't release the things that have been holding you back for so long, because you're afraid. You're afraid to let them go, because it's that you feel like it's like your power, right? Like people feel like they're powerful over their chaos. Don't nobody got time for that mess. And when you come into a room playing the victim, for me, I don't do victimism. And I teach my 9-year-old and my 5-year-old, you ain't a victim. Get your whole life together. Ask yourself what part you played in it and get it together. Like figure out why you're mad, because you played a part in that. You
Mm-hmm.
you was you lead role, right? You was a lead role. Good night. So yeah, for me, it's you can like if you're in
Good
chaos now,
night.
chaos is gonna follow you. It's always gonna follow you.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I really like love your perspective and insight, especially going through something that's like really fresh and new and like now moving forward and so forth. So you also have a travel business.
I do. I have a travel business. It's a network marketing company. My product is travel, and right now I have the opportunity to book trips for myself, book trips for everybody else, but make the commission off of those things. So
Yeah.
basically, people don't know that when you go to Priceline, when you go to American Airlines is taking that commission and putting it back into their company. Why not be you? Why not be able to give yourself that opportunity? And for me, the company that I'm with, I didn't have to go to all those different things to get the certification to sell. I literally paid my money and it was running that same day, turnkey business. And it is an amazing thing because I love to travel. The
Yeah.
military gave me that travel bug, right? Like being stationed
Yeah.
in Germany, being stationed in Spain, all those places. I was stationed in Hungary. It was like all these things I was able to do. It's like I I need to give that to my kids now, right? Like we got a little bit maybe high standards because I've been to Greece and even
Yeah.
like I want to take them to my daughter was there, but she was a baby. But I seen a trip where we can go to 2 days to Mykonos, 2 days to Athens, and it's like 2 days to Santorini, and literally all in one, all in everything is covered, right? So it's like, why not? And
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
I love it. I absolutely love, I love to travel too, but I actually love to see women who have, retired from, a certain career or whatnot, and then just saying, you know what? Here's what I want to do now. And
Yes.
just getting after it, and enjoying it. It's like a passion. It's something that you would do, for a long time. And I look, whenever you post stuff, I'm like, oh, okay. Where you at now?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm actually really intrigued by the fact that you're just moving and really understanding what it is that you want, designing, creating the life that you
Yes.
want, and still very passionate about serving because empowerment,
Yes.
coaching is a service. It's a serving other people so that way they can feel better about themselves and do what they want to do in their life.
It's all about creation.
Yes. So
Yeah.
we've been here for an hour, and I knew we were going to be here for an hour because that's just how it is. And so, what are your last thoughts before we step on out of here?
So for me, it keeps coming up to repeat the fact that we are creators. We create amazingness or we create chaos. You get to decide in any and everything. And here's my biggest thing. When people tell you you can't do that, you're a liar. I can do whatever I want because we were not created to struggle or stress over things. It's a human experience that was taught to you. So until you decide that you're no longer going to sit around and let somebody else tell you that you can't have that, or you can't change careers, or you can't pursue that dream. You won't always be stuck in the same place worrying about what everybody else is thinking. And even when I started my business, people are like, like they look at you, but I am no longer worried about you, because if you don't want to do it, it doesn't matter. If you don't want to change your mindset, it doesn't matter. Somebody else does. And
Mhm.
I will help those that are ready to level up.
Yes, you sure will. And
Yep.
I love it. So this is you heard it here, first thing here, y'all, on the Slate to Success Talk Show. Chisa here with us, and it was just an amazing night with Reginald.
I, look, I'm looking around like,
With your featured guest Reginald. He didn't know. He's like, y'all don't look, y'all don't know. I'm about to come on screen too.
hey, hey.
Hey. And Tiffany says, thank you for sharing such empowering words, ideas, and ways to view life careers. I'll be sharing the nuggets learned with my team. So thank you. See, look at that. Changing lives already, girl.
Yes, girl.
So y'all know, okay, that we'll be back here next Sunday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yet I have another featured guest. Her name is Leslie George, and she will be here with us. And so guess what? If you were here during the live, I just want to say thank you very, very much for being here because you took the time out. You wanted to invest in yourself and you just kind of wanting to see what the discussion was about. So thank you. And for those that come back for the replay, making sure you put in hashtag replay so I know that you were here.
Yes.
So please take care of yourself. Again, here is the QR scan code if you need it up one more time of all the things that are going on and how you can reach me and I can assist and support you in your leadership journey or if you're transitioning from a career, a long career, I can certainly help you to get on your path.
Yes.
All right, everybody, keep on slaying until you can't slay no more. We'll see you next week. Bye bye.
See ya.